Welcome to Florida's only cannabis radio program. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio.
Wicked, I go feel it, yeah. Them I go feel it, Lord, oh Lord, your cup is full and running over. It's running over, running over. Your cup is full and running over. It's running over, running over. That you have shall be taken away. What your hands commit to, your body must feel it. You are gonna feel it. Every road have I been, every wicked have I end. What your eyes commit to, your body must feel it. You what I say. Your cup is full and running over. It's running over, running over. Your cup is full and running over. It's running over, running over. What does it profit a man to gain this whole wide world and lose his soul? The more you have is the more you want. You just don't care about another man at all. Is full and running over. It's running over, running over. Your cup is full and running over. It's running over, running over. Wicked, I go feel it, yeah. Them I go feel it. Running over, it's running over, running over. Your cup is full and running over, it's running over, running over. The liquor that you have shall be taken away. What your hands commit to, your body must feel it. You are gonna feel it. Every road have I been, every wicked have I end. What your eyes commit to, your body must feel it. You what I say. Your cup is full and running over. It's running over, running over. Your cup is full and running over. It's running over, running over. Your cup is full and running over, over. Your cup is full and running over. Your cup is full and running over, over. Your cup is full and running over.
This is Florida's most unique radio program. This is Cannabis Life Radio.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I was about to say good morning.
Yeah,
we're
no
in the
longer.
afternoon
we're
slot.
not on in the morning anymore.
No.
This is Cannabis Life Radio, Florida's only cannabis radio program. I am Leon Hamilton along with my co-hosts, R.B. Barroso and Cheryl Murray Powell.
Good day.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. This is probably the biggest week that has gone on since we've been on the air.
Well, it's the end of the session, pretty much. So there's a lot of things going on. We got really good special guests today from Michael Minardi, Chloe Villano, and quite a few others. I also need to say, I got to apologize to my daughter. Last week was her birthday.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Brianna.
Happy
birthday, Bree.
And yesterday she won first all-around in gymnastics for Florida Crown Gymnastics. And then another big shot. It's been a big week for me as a father, and as my oldest daughter just got a scholarship to American University of Rome.
Wow,
that was pretty impressive.
American University of Rome is American University in Washington D.C. only.
Correct.
Wow.
She's going to be studying abroad. So congratulations.
Just letting you know that I couldn't get into American.
Well, you can't get in anywhere.
I don't know.
I mean, you needed a key to get in here.
Clearly, brains run in the family. Congratulations to the girls.
I'm blessed. I'm definitely blessed. It's been a great week. Just the beginning. So it was a great week, and besides that, obviously on the cannabis side, tell me, Cheryl, what did you find out this week?
Yeah, on the cannabis side, there's a lot going on. We had a meeting with Jeff Sessions and Hickenlooper from a representative from Colorado, and they talked about the future of cannabis, where the Justice Department will be targeting, and Sessions indicated that based on all the priorities that they have, they're not going to be targeting marijuana. That's pretty low on the priority list, which is good news. It's what was expected.
Session?
This is Jeff Sessions this Wednesday, this past Wednesday.
Wow. Yeah, and
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, but it's also exactly. But it's also you guys predicted exactly what they were doing. They were trying to see what the public reaction would be. They were trying to probe.
They were gauging that water for sure, and that water got really hot.
Yes, it did.
It got really hot.
He didn't expect it to be that hot.
No, it got really hot, and they realized if they're going to stay in power, or if they're going to continue to run and get people's votes, this is not a topic that they should be running on against.
No.
So they'll lose all their seats quickly.
Vast majority of the population want medical marijuana at a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
We want to move to recreational eventually, but the vast majority have voted. They've stated what the will of the people is. So also, I think that because there's a slew of research being done around opiates, we have all the opiate deaths, we have the heroin deaths, and there's an indication. Actually, AJ pulled some information for us. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, AJ. Thank you, AJ.
Hey, what's up, Am I on?
You got to turn on your own microphone. You know how to turn on your microphone there, brother?
You know what? I just did, and I
still
can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
That's for sure.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can come over there and help you.
Yeah, I was looking around and I found some stuff. As you can all see, there's segments on the side of the window when you're looking up news, and I was looking up news and I found some cannabis stuff.
So now we got another researcher for us right here.
Absolutely,
I'll do my best.
AJ's our phenomenal, always prepared board operator. Thank you so much. One of the articles titled "Medical Cannabis Led to the Decrease in the Use of Dangerous Substances," and it's actually research done where they've looked at cases on online survey of people as far as their behaviors related to opiate use after they've put marijuana in their lifestyle. 71.8% of patients use less anti-anxiety medication, 66.7% use less migraine medication, 65.2% use less sleep medication. So this is a significant majority, changing their behaviors. Most of these individuals were in the New England area of the country, but this is good news, and we're seeing these articles pop up everywhere.
And that's very centralized. If you go broad base and go across the country, I think those numbers will pretty much be the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Across, they're just in Florida, as we were there in Tallahassee this week. They're looking to pass a bill to $27 million to do research on opiate addiction and what they could do to resolve the problem. And I was having a conversation with a couple people there at the Tallahassee, and they think that rehab facilities and that type of wasting money is what I call it, because I think that's a waste of money. They need to start where it actually begins, and that's with Big Pharma and making sure that they produce a product. If they're going to continue to do that, they need to make a product that's only used for one thing. Right. That's it, orally, and that's it. Not break down the pill, put it in a needle, and God forbid, don't know what happens after that. And that's kind of where it all starts. And the trend goes from there. And as we were talking before the show, I think you said it was 600 600 overdoses.
600 fatal overdoses in Palm Beach County alone last month.
Crazy.
Related to
I was talking to people down in downtown Delray. They were like, it happens every day.
It's touched every family. I mean, on the drive here, I was talking to a high school friend of mine, and I don't know if he's listening, but we'll probably have him on next week, and he'll be at the warehouse tomorrow. And I won't mention his name just because I haven't spoken out to him yet.
Of course.
But he went through it, and his family's going through it, and 4 other families are going through it right now. Actually, 3 of them had lost their children under the age of 20. Under the age of 20, but you don't see this. You don't see this on the news, and they don't make a big thing about it. But that's the problem, and that takes me into Roger Goodell. He's talking about medical marijuana or cannabis itself being addictive. I looked at that comment and I was so just ridiculous. Like, I felt like I didn't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I literally pulled over because I'm like, this is. I mean,
he implied that it was too dangerous. He implied that it was too dangerous. Meanwhile, the players are knocking each other so hard that they're giving each other concussions that are ending the other players' lives, and he's worried about them smoking pot because it's going to be too dangerous.
Well, here's my. I mean, this is my conspiracy theory. Yeah. Obviously, cannabis is what they want to do is have players on the field. Mm-hmm. These guys are gladiators. These guys get paid to be on the field, not off the field. Yeah. So cannabis is going to help them through the process of pain, concussion. Dr. Holtz out of University of Miami is actually studying CBD right now for concussions, but the opiates and everything else keeps these guys on the field. This is coming not from research. This is coming from NFL players, retired NFL players that said, if I didn't have this drug, if they didn't shoot me up before a game or in halftime or, give me my prescription, I wouldn't have been on the field.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's kind of like teasing them that, listen, you got it, you want to play, you want to get on the field, you want your contract, here's what could get you on the field. So, when he comes out and says that he's got a problem because he thinks cannabis is going to be addictive, I mean, I gotta go to somebody else.
They look at them as bodies. They're just bodies on the field, and that's unfortunate because they're brilliant. I'm going to say men because football is played by men in this country, but brilliant men, and to study the plays and the playbooks. It takes a lot of intellect to do that, and they're constantly putting their lives and their futures in jeopardy every week. Of course, it's entertaining. Of course, they have a passion for it and they love it. So I'm not advocating that we stop football, but we got to make sure that we keep them healthy and strong, and that they will have a chance of a fulfilling life after their career.
Well, they have a union. I mean, the alumni should stand up and say, we choose to use this, just like Treyas Jarrell, Stevie K from last week.
Right.
They should have the right to choose to use what they want to be able to get on the field if they feel that's a better treatment. And coming from, Ricky, who was on our station before, they demonized him.
Right.
And
they made him look like a lunatic.
They made him look.
I mean, when I spoke to him, this is a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
Extremely intelligent. It's incredible, the aura and the energy that he has around him, and to demonize him over using cannabis because he chose to use that, and people weren't educated enough when it was going through that. Now everybody's turning around and looking at him like, you were right. You were on to something. So it's a big thing, and I think we're going to continue to talk about the opiate problem that's going on. It's on the news every other day, at least in the big forum, and the money that they're trying to dictate to seeing what they could do to this. And my answer to it is you got to go straight to the pharmaceutical companies, and they need to be able to develop a product where it's only oral and that's it. You cannot break it down and use it for any other way. If they're going to keep that stuff on the market.
There's another article here. It says how federal law is standing in the way of stopping the opioid epidemic. So again, everywhere we're looking, people are saying that information's there, the research is there, the evidence is there. Why is the federal government standing in the way? And I think that's the type of pressure that has affected the perspective of Jeff Sessions. He made it clear that he is not in favor of any what he calls drugs. However, it's not a priority. So that's good news for the industry.
That is a good news. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So absolutely, that's great. Beyond that, Florida's a big addiction recovery state. So we have a lot of the group homes. We have a lot of the addiction recovery centers.
That's part of the problem too. That's a big issue because these people are businessmen. They're not trying to help people. They're trying to open these rehabs all over the place in Delray, Boynton Beach. And what ends up happening, these people from up north, they send their kids.
They do send their kids
down here,
to Florida,
to get off drugs.
I mean, really?
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And then the people that are in these rehabs, they have to go out to work to try to get a job.
Right.
And then that's when they find them passed out at the Walgreens in the bathroom or laying on the bench outside of a nice restaurant. And it's this constant. It's like a vicious cycle.
It's a cycle for sure.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
The addiction recovery community is opening up. I'm seeing as I go to events and talk to people, especially in the therapist community. They're opening up at a minimum looking at CBD.
Mm-hmm.
So you've seen a lot of where people, when I've talked to people, they embrace people who've been in the addiction recovery profession. They're starting to embrace the CBD as a conservative step. They've read some articles about the results, and they're looking at that as a possibility in their treatment centers of weaning people off the opiates, off the hazardous drugs.
Studies have shown that CBD actually stops the reward process in addicts, and addictions supposedly, according to these studies, turns addictions into habits. Habits are easy to break.
Absolutely.
I think it's the whole cannabis plant.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I mean, the whole thing I think is definitely medicinal. It's an herb. CBDs, and we're heavily involved in the CBD side, but we definitely support the THC side heavily.
Yeah, you have to.
We're only in Florida. That's the only reason why we haven't broad into the THC field. But it's the whole plant itself.
Yeah.
We really need to continue to educate, get on the radio, talk to the doctors. The doctors are starting to come around, and they're starting to see the light.
Yeah.
Instead of wanting to, even with this 90-day rule, which hopefully, as we were talking, I think yesterday, that we're hoping that disappears. But even with the 90-day rules, doctors have to treat that patient that comes in the door.
Mm-hmm.
If they treat that patient coming in the door, they're giving them CBD, hopefully, instead of writing them a prescription for a class narcotic, which is what we're really hoping for.
Yeah, that would be a lot better if they were given CBD instead of it. Okay, well, we're going to guess what time it is. Did you see what time it is? Look at the clock.
What time is it?
4:20.
It's 4:20.
4:20.
It's time.
I heard
It's
another
time.
story about why 420 is 420 this
Why
weekend.
is it? Why?
That Peter Tosh legalized it on 420, and that's why it's...
Is that really true?
The Waldos might have a say on that.
Yeah, so we hear about the high school students, the
We're gonna have
college
a beef
students.
here.
We're gonna throw down.
We got to look at when that. We
Except
got to look
us
at
two
when that
against you.
album.
Really?
When did that song come out? We got to look at the year and then pace back from there.
And then we'll pace back from there.
We'll go backwards.
We need to give Peter Tosh credit.
It's 4:20. It's time. It's time. It's time for Bill Monroe.
Radio proudly presents In the Know with Bill Monroe.
Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yep.
Woo! Hello, Bill.
Bill Monroe. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Monroe. Bill, are you there? Hello, Bill. Hello, Bill.
I think he's avoiding you. He ain't paying attention to you.
Bill Monroe, are you on?
Hello, Bill Monroe.
All right, well, we'll wait
keep it
till we
going
get him
while we
on-
get
on
AJ
there.
gets him on.
There was a...
He was on.
Okay.
That's fine.
We'll get him on.
It's all right. We're raw.
There was a
We're
really
raw.
interesting
This happens all the
study
time. We're fine.
that I was dying to talk about,
Yeah.
but we ran out of time. So, of course, we love the rat study where they're looking at opiates. So what they're doing with this is not the study I'm talking about.
I see you smiling from here.
I'm super
Must
excited.
be hilarious.
Cover
So
me.
the one we talked about a few weeks ago was the rat study. The rat study is where rats get to press a button, and they press a button, and then they get opiates.
Uh-huh.
And then they start giving them CBD, and then they see a delay and a delay and a delay in that behavior.
Wow.
So
Really?
now there's this other study that I found in an article about schizophrenia. So, people, I am not a physician, I am not a therapist, but people have asked me, what do you think about people, schizophrenics, using marijuana? And I'm like, schizophrenia is one of those things that I'm not so sure that's a good thing, et cetera, and so on. So they're actually studying it. And they're studying it with mice at the age of adolescence. That would be like our human adolescence. And they're looking at the genetics, and what they found is the mice that have the genes that in a human that would indicate they would be susceptible to schizophrenia, or their parents have that same gene and that tendency for schizophrenic tendency, those are the ones that when they do smoke, when they do get access to marijuana.
I love it. I love it.
Smoking little rat.
When the mice, when they get the mice
smoking.
a spliff. No, but those mice are the ones that are susceptible to psychological effects afterwards. And I thought it was really interesting that they can look at that in mice and really recognize that, because it's controversial. You know, the gateway drug, non-gateway drug thing is really controversial. And we traditionally say, or research has indicated, that marijuana is not addictive for adult use. It's during those like 17 to 21 years.
I mean, everybody in high school, I mean, when you're going through high school and, you know, things are put in front of you, I think things now are obviously a little different than when we were growing up. I would think we played a lot of quarters back in the day. I mean, now there's just,
quarters?
I mean, with all, I think it's way past your time, but that's all right. But I think now the problem is that, you know, the synthetic drugs that are on the street, from the fentanyl and mixed in with, you know, the heroin and everything else that's out there. I think cannabis, when the more they study it, the more they research it, they're going to find out that this is going to help millions of people. And it's going to be researched information for millions of people. And once the government gets out of the way and allows us to continue to move forward in this, I think there's going to be a lot of happy families and a lot of good things going on.
I got some good news for you.
I think
what's that news?
Bill Monroe is back on the phone. Bill.
All right.
Bill Monroe. Hello. No. Hello, Bill.
Hello, Bill.
Go ahead, sing it.
Hello, Bill Monroe. Hello, Bill Monroe.
We're having a few technical difficulties
today.
But you know what? What I want to talk about as well is President Trump. He's a
little wild.
We've had a Trumpitude week. We've had a lot of Trumpitosity.
We've had a lot of sad. We've had a lot of happy.
Right.
You know.
First of all, he thought this job would be easy. He said he thought
it would. No. What he said was he thought it would be easier.
Okay,
that's different.
You're right. That's
totally
different. He thought it would be easier than his job as a real estate mogul. So, like, he thought being leader of the free world would be an easy job.
It's a piece of cake.
Yeah. So that's just astounding to me. Like, you know, sometimes you got to cash your chips in. And all those people who supported him and what in the election times, I think you need to take another look. Before we get to the 4-year mark, not to be controversial.
That's a little controversial.
I thought we were talking about
there.
Cannabis.
So did I.
She's
throwing Trump under the
Cannabis Radio show.
Oh yeah.
What is going on here?
What about the?
Are you just trying to make all the angry listeners call?
I know. Well,
I think she is.
I think I am.
Poke
Please
the bear.
call us and
Poke
tell
the
us why
bear.
you think real estate mogul is an easier job than president
come
of
on.
the
We're
United
talking
States.
about cannabis.
There you go. Get on her.
Come on.
I'm going to agree with you for the first time.
For the first time ever, you're going to agree with me? You're going to take my side in this?
I'll take your side on this one.
What about the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night?
Oh, my goodness.
I think they should
Were
be
they talking about cannabis?
I think they should be handing out
they
cannabis
weren't talking
to
about cannabis,
everybody.
but it was fantastic.
What has gone on
The
with this
jerks
show?
were
It's
flowing.
gone off the rails.
All
Please,
right.
Bill Monroe, get Bill Monroe on the phone, please.
All right, if we don't want to talk about it, we can talk about decriminalization.
Yes,
I think that
yes, we can do
decriminalization
that.
is a safe topic.
Not even that. You saw what happened in Washington, D.C. This is also from AJ. You know, those lighting up at legalization nationwide in front of the federal government. Nicholas Schiller, co-founder of the group DC Marijuana Justice, had a couple people arrested this week in front of the Capitol. So they're still on that side. I think we need to reach out to Jeff Sessions again because
those are the people giving away free. Were those the people giving away free?
Handing out joints out in the front of the White House.
I mean, either which way, they're wasting time. I mean, it's
time
ridiculous.
And
energy and time and money and everything else to
and ruining people's lives.
Absolutely,
that's an important part of this whole thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And like Desmond Meade said last week, he said, you know, the gateway to the penitentiary system is a lot of times marijuana. That's the first charge.
Yeah. The numbers there,
600,000.
We said that a couple weeks last week. 600,000 people in the United States right now are fighting a cannabis charge right now. So that just shows you how much time and effort within the court systems and everything else and the jails for people having this issue. So their war on drugs that's failed since the 1980s, actually since 1971, is failed, and I think there's other avenues that we need to approach, especially on the cannabis side, which is starting to show big progress on the research side and through the universities and doctors that are behind it.
Yeah. Let's start at least trying to break down what happened with the bills. Can I try to?
What bill?
The bills this week.
What are we here for again?
Yeah. No.
Am I in a dream? Is this real life?
Yeah. The bill.
Bill.
Yeah. There's a lot of activity in Tallahassee related to the. I mean, we have 1 week of session left. Right. Everybody's burnt out.
Yeah.
I spoke to Nikki Freed with Green Solutions yesterday briefly, and she's just like ready and ready to go into the last week of session as everyone is. So we're hearing good news on the front of the fact that there's light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to modalities.
Right.
People with different illnesses and they need different modalities. People have preferences and they need different modalities. Mm-hmm. People have different living situations and they may need different modalities as a result of that. Now it looks like we might be able to have edibles, and we may be able to have vaping, which is very positive. A lot of patients are in favor of that as a preferred method of receiving.
Now let me ask you a quick question on
marijuana.
that, on the edibles. And I was talking to somebody on the way here. Mm-hmm. They're saying only on the oil, so that they would only be able to use oil. There'll still be no consumption of flour.
No flour.
No flour.
No flour. So flour's still out.
Flour.
Yep.
All right.
So just edibles. They're adding edibles to it. They're possibly
vaping,
vaporizing. Still having the suppositories. No flour.
That's for you.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I'll take that.
Thank you. Notice I didn't deny. I was like, okay.
It is the best delivery system.
No problem. I'm all over that.
So so that's great news as we see that the bill taking more of being more three-dimensional, getting more flesh on it. Minorities for Medical Marijuana did a lot of work as far as the diversity language. Roz McCarthy worked hours and hours.
Big shout out to her, absolutely.
Huge shout out to her as far as her efforts. So we saw that language has been included in the bill. So there is diversity language. Again, by diversity, we're talking about veterans, we're talking about women, we're talking about ethnic minorities, we're talking about more multiculturalism, I should say. So that's a huge win. And, I'd like to see that activity cascade across the country. We saw Pennsylvania put a stake in the ground with their legislation. Yep. Maryland as well.
Texas.
Now Florida is doing some work around that.
Texas is moving forward. They passed another panel, and it's moving forward to their House.
Okay.
I think even West Virginia is starting to get West Virginia, Tennessee. There's a lot of people that are getting on board right now. I mean, they have to.
Right.
I mean, they really have to. And that's including also on the hemp bill, as Roz really, a big shout out to her for helping us out this week while we were there and pushing that forward and trying to get even some of the farmers here in Florida back to work as that bill passed 37-0.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it was great. Hopefully it's on the governor's desk this week and we could get that signed over and moving forward, because that's also going to open up a lot of opportunities in the cannabis industry, which is the hemp bill. So we're continuing to push on all angles.
All right, we're going to try one more time. This is it.
You're going for it?
Yep. Let me hit this button right here. Here it comes. Here it comes. All right, Bill Monroe, are you there? Please, come on. Please, come on, Bill Monroe. Bill Monroe.
Well, just talking about Texas, what I really liked about the Texas proposed bill is it included, autism. Right. Alzheimer's, fibromyalgia. It includes sickle cell. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's huge. Yeah. That's especially huge for the African American community. That was a hot topic when we did the Kaya Fest seminar, because a lot of people who were present, they have the sickle cell trait, or they were they have the actual sickle cell disease, and that was a hot question that we were asking. We indicated that we push for it. Minorities for Medical Marijuana, especially because it does affect the African American community, and Roz's son actually has sickle cell. So, that's huge to see sickle cell included in the Texas bill for another conservative state. Yeah. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Also, when Illinois is looking at recreational. And that, when you think about Chicago and you think about, Chicago is such an awesome city. And there are a lot of professionals in Chicago. It's a varied community, a lot of rich history, musically, just historically, and it gets this reputation for gang violence and things like that. Well,
they do got a lot of deaths going on over there.
They do have a lot of deaths, but they have a lot of good things coming out of Chicago.
Chicago is beautiful.
It's a great city, right?
I think it's an amazing city. They just a lot of things over there need to get reworked and have the community participate. And I think again, these are all things that can move forward. And even listen, I mean, we were at the Kaya Fest. The Kaya Fest brought a lot of people together. Everybody was there. It didn't matter what color, what race, what religion it was. And I think that it mends bridges. Right. Is the way I look at it. I really do. I mean, just sitting at this table, we all have different point of views in different ways. But at the end, we come together as one to spread the information and the knowledge and try to get as much data out there to the people and us educate ourselves every day by bringing that. And we're not all on the same page on other issues, but I can tell you right now, I know we're on the same page in this issue and the cannabis issue
definitely
and stuff. So I think that brings a lot of people together, and it really heals and helps a lot of people.
Well, even talking about Illinois and talking about that the violent crime issue there, cannabis can help that too. So with it going from medical to marijuana and creating those job creation, removing
that's
the
what
poverty,
it's all about. That's
giving
the problem
people
with all of this stuff is they need to
in.
have jobs.
Right.
Why are they building all these car factories and manufacturing plants out in the middle of nowhere? Why aren't they doing it where they need to be in the middle cities?
Well,
that's where they need to be.
The job in the cannabis industry is huge. I mean, we have 50 plus employees right now.
Right.
We started off with 3. And we would like to have 75 to 100 in the next 18 months.
Can I apply for a job?
Absolutely not. I would never have you come into my warehouse. But that's besides the point. Cheryl is allowed to be in there.
Thank you, RB. Thank you so much.
Blessed. We're blessed to have
I spend like 3 days
actually.
A week there. Thank you.
We're actually blessed to have her there.
Thank you so much.
So I mean, but you see the opportunities that are given,
of course,
to people and the work and everything that could happen by having this new industry really take the forefront and develop in every angle. Kentucky's farmers industry is getting back on its feet.
Absolutely.
A lot of these other states that have adopted the pilot hemp bill, the farmers, the people that work the farms, extractors, delivery, security, bud tenders across the board.
Right.
And that even brings into Chloe that has universities and students going there. I mean, these are people that want to participate and want to be part of this billion-dollar industry that's coming in the forefront. And I think that cures a lot of our issues.
Right.
A lot of issues get cured by obviously having a job and having a job that you really care about and want to do.
Absolutely. And I think it'll starve the cartels too.
Yep.
Yeah.
People will shift from other more addictive other addictive drugs, whereas cannabis, again, it's an herb, it's a plant. And it's a healer. So when Illinois goes recreational, I think that will counteract some of their problem with the violent crime, and that'll be good to see. We saw Detroit go to the extreme off the deep end from a bankruptcy perspective and a crime perspective, and I think Chicago's in a place that we can really utilize the cannabis industry to fuel its progress.
I agree.
Yeah, I think we got Bill Monroe on the phone again. I'm not.
You keep telling stories. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Crying wolf.
Let's try it one more time.
Wolf crier.
Bill Monroe, are you there?
Leon has Bill Monroe in a closet.
They're blaming me for
Bill
this.
Monroe is in a closet
Where is
somewhere.
he?
Leon, we're on to you.
Yeah,
That's it. It's all you throw in the white flag.
Yep, I just did.
I saw that.
Done. Yeah.
Listen, that's what raw radio brings you. And that's look, and you're live right here.
Right. And I'm on Facebook
and
Live.
You're on Facebook
it's all my
Live.
fault. We got somebody else on the phone. Can we go to that call? Let's try this one. Hello, you're on Cannabis Life Radio. Hello. There's something wrong with our phone system. This has never happened to us before.
No. It might be that black car.
It's very strange. Yes. This is so shocking.
Breaking a single.
I'm telling you, listen, okay, for those of you who are just listening to us for the first time, we are having an issue with our guests being able to be called in. Or
I think they picked that up.
Yeah, okay, well, this has happened before, and many times before, and not only at this radio station, and we think that there might be, we joke around that there might be some sort of conspiracy or jinx or something happening.
I think the jinx is on.
Because, come on, look at this equipment. Okay, I mean, this is not
we are
shabby,
top-notch
facility, and the phones blow up when we start to talk.
It's the black truck that's out front.
There's a black truck out front. And he's probably listening to my voice at this moment.
The guys with glasses are coming towards us right now.
Men in black. Men in black. Yep. You got those memory guns.
Another article is kind of related.
Can I bring some? And I don't mean to break it up.
Yes,
I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I saw an article this week, and somebody shared it to me last night. And first, I want to give condolences to the family of Riley Hansey. He was a patient, and this is something that kind of actually touches us directly, because we do have somebody that's been with us since the beginning that we started Green Roads, and she's needed lung transplants. And the article from Herb basically stated, the young man passed away, and there's a lot of these hospitals that are having that have a regulations. If they test positive for THC, they will not be put on a transplant list at all.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big issue. And they had, we were reading the article, and it was
crazy.
It was he's a young teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, literally,
dead.
He went dead
for no reason.
We spoke about him a few weeks ago when they first denied him the transplant.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has passed on, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And
someone
should be held accountable for that.
I agree with that 1,000%, because he's a 20-year-old, and for having THC, he didn't have anything else in his system, but he did have that, and for that, they didn't put him on the list. University of Pennsylvania did put him on the list, but by that time, it was a little bit too late. So our condolences definitely, and to the Hansey family for losing their child, but hopefully this stands for something, and for rules to change for hospitals, and may save other people from having this issue. And we have somebody that actually almost went through that. That's dear and close to us, and they were thinking about taking her off also the transplant list, and she was on all kinds of morphine and opiates and stuff, and there were stuff that she was using that was actually helping her with the pain.
Right.
And it came close, but we had to fight for it, and they put her back on, but it was a problem.
Yeah.
He didn't die in vain, and we keep his memory alive, and we give thanks for.
You got to keep talking about this stuff, because if you forget about it, it's just gonna
disappears.
It goes away, and then nobody's. We're gonna talk. Take a little break here, because you know what I'm gonna do. I got a wrench in my backpack, and I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna go over there. And I'm going to try.
Fix things?
I'm going to Yeah, I told you.
Really?
I told you I'm very handy.
I doubt that.
I'm very handy. I don't need to hire people to ever do any work or anything like that.
What's up with the black jacket today?
Sour
D too?
This is my Arby Barroso Halloween costume I'm working on for October. I've got one more piece to it. Check it.
You are definitely not as good looking as I am.
Oh, you got the hat?
He's even got the Scully on.
Oh, look at it. All right, getting there.
I like it.
Getting there. Twinning.
Twinning. Yeah, I planned that out today. I'm pretty clever.
That was great.
I'll
give you dabs on that.
Thank you, sir.
Not too bad.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get my wrench out and try to fix this phone system. We're going to take a quick break. You are listening to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
The gunman club, a free admission. The only way out, a flat position. Name one of the done, them we make it to done. Cut up shot a boy, now reach 25. 20 36H, him a hide. When him and police clash and collide, the verdict unanimous, a straight homicide. Gun trader skyrocketing, blood classified. The circle go round, juvenile genocide. GP and no Hilton, trade up the life. Counting down days, regretting the crimes. 5 killings a day, a trend on the rise. $1,000 less just to take Dempsey life. More time Babylon send soul to the sky. For little bit of nothing, them sell here with the pipes.
Kapupa come to tinga everything. Kapupa come to tinga everything.
Me tell you everything, now stop singing.
Kapupa come to tinga everything. Kapupa come to tinga everything. Kapupa come to tinga everything.
Me tell you everything, now stop singing.
Kapupa come to tinga everything.
Politicians and Dana, a sugar and spice. Dan and right hand, a sodas and ice. Right hand and the gang, a dangerous shrine. The gang and community, a broken device. Police and MPs, the dog and the fleas. Police and the Dan, the rat and the trees. Police and gunman, war over peace. Police and community collapsing bridge. Scammers them call, we laugh like Santa. Other them stuck in the wall like tampon. Them call Uncle Sam, take away the cash van. Property and whole van, savings from grandpa.
Kapupa come to tinga everything. Kapupa come to tinga everything.
Me tell you everything, now stop singing.
Kapupa come to tinga everything. Kapupa come to tinga everything. Kapupa come to tinga everything.
Me tell you everything, now stop singing.
Kapupa come to tinga everything.
Ring the alarm, no boy. If you're not afraid of the judgment, who no fear run, settle. Roots radicals tell themselves, a flower tell them every night and every day.
If you need cannabis as medicine, you need Cannabis Life Radio.
He's very serious, by the way.
Who's this?
Yeah, that announcer.
Which one?
If you
I
need
didn't pay
cannabis as medicine, then you need Cannabis Life Radio. See?
Bing, bang, bang.
Yeah, I can make some money doing that.
I doubt
Absolutely. You do have a good voice, right?
Thank you.
He does, right?
Absolutely.
I'll give it. Here you go. There you go.
Oh, you guys are so
Leon.
sweet.
Well, I'm going to share a little bit how crazy my life gets.
Well, first, I just want to let everybody know we're having radio difficulties.
Oh, we are, yeah.
I mean, technical difficulties here with the phones. So be patient.
Great guests today.
Be patient, and we do have great guests when we could get to them.
But we can't talk to them.
Not right now. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Cheryl. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to share how crazy my life gets. So I have these incidents happen to me. Like when I was at Kaya Fest, I locked my keys in my trunk, and I had to get a locksmith. And so I got this opportunity. Thank you to one of my mentors, Marlon Hill. He's been a mentor for me before I even started law school. He's a great attorney in South Florida, Jamaican background like myself. So we got an opportunity to speak at the Canex conference. So, of course, I let my passport expire. And I'm like, I'll just go to Miami. I'll just go to Miami, get my passport, and get it renewed. Unfortunately...
The office is closed.
Yes, the office is closed.
She's got to fly out to Atlanta.
When did the office close, though?
Yeah,
last Sunday.
Week. Last week.
On the 23rd.
Yeah, it was last week.
So when I need to go to Miami to get my passport the same day,
not happening.
The office is flooded.
So would that explain your little anger issue with the president, maybe?
Well, you know what? Yeah, that among other things, all the budgeting things, yes.
My goodness.
So tonight,
I think it goes deeper than that.
Oh my God.
Deeper than that.
Ooh. So I have to drive to Orlando, fly from Orlando to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then from Atlanta, go get my passport.
And then
come
she'll be back at the warehouse on Tuesday.
And then I'll be back at the warehouse on Tuesday. So
no, that's some dedication.
I'm going to drag my son along with me on that journey.
You're going to take...
I'm going to take Judah.
Are you kidding me?
He needs a passport too. We might as well do it together.
Oh, man.
Get me one while you're up there.
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
Yeah, send me a copy of mine too.
Exactly. We're going to do a field trip to get all of our passports. Because
I ain't going anywhere. I don't need no passport.
I don't think they allow you to leave anywhere. anyways.
No, they won't let me leave.
But for our listeners in Jamaica, I'll be speaking at the CADX conference at the Pegasus Hotel on Friday, May 5th. So super excited about that.
Can you do me a favor while you're there?
Yeah,
can you find out something for me?
Sure.
I was a couple of months ago. I was supposed to go to Jamaica to help someone begin a retreat or that's what she called it, a retreat for cannabis patients that were terminal, and she wanted me to help her with the hemp oil. And so we got everything done. Everything was arranged. She bought the tickets and everything. I was about to go get my passport. No, I'm not going to need it. But anyway,
no, you still need it.
Guess what we found out? Guess what we found out about Jamaica?
What about it?
Hemp is illegal.
Yep.
Marijuana is legal, but hemp is totally banned.
We're working on it.
We are pushing every avenue.
You can buy pot. You can buy cannabis at the airport.
Absolutely.
In Kingston. If you have a medical marijuana card from a state in the United States, you plug in your medical marijuana card, you can buy a bag at the airport, but you can't get hemp.
Well, again, this is where it goes back to 1937. This is the whole plant. They didn't make marijuana illegal in 1937. It was hemp.
Yeah.
Is the reason why that was the target. They used everything else because that was what got you high at that point to really target the whole plant.
Yeah.
But it was really for the hemp because actually I had a meeting with Cheryl, and we won't disclose who we spoke with, but they're looking at hempcrete right now.
Pigman?
No, I think he's retired.
You're the only one he'll meet with.
Exactly. He's the only one he'll fight with, actually. So everything is coming around where they're actually using, hempcrete is starting really to be spoken about. Insulation for homes, building homes, and this is really why. And we would like in Jamaica, Haiti, and all these other countries, including Barbados, is to create these type of homes.
Yeah.
We do have hurricane season coming, down the street. So if God forbid something happens, this could be an easy source of building material to help build very strong homes and very affordable homes.
And it's very easy to make, too,
It's very easy to make, and this is a reason why it became illegal. Not because of anything else. It was due to the hemp because it has so many resources in that plant.
And that's also why the industrial hemp bill is so critical for the future of this state. When we were at the KIFS, there was of course, Denisha Pendergast, she is a member of the Marley family. She was the host for the day, and she spoke about a community in Jamaica that had gotten burned down. And what she'd like to do is rebuild that community with hemp, which is fire resistant, by the way, and mold resistant as well, and build the whole a community in Jamaica, rebuild a community that was destroyed by fire in hemp. Sustainable materials.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let me hit this button one more time. Here we go. Hey.
Is it Bo or Bill?
Bill. Bill Monroe. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Monroe. Bill, are you there? Oh, come on.
This is a practical joke.
This is not a practical joke.
This is as raw as you can get, my friends.
Yeah.
One more time, but I'm quitting. I'm out of here. No.
Where's your pink slip?
You're going to give it to me.
But just the thought of, I think, so when you look at the hemp plant, I think is it the covering the stalk of the plant that's used for the building materials?
It's pretty much the whole plant. I mean, there's people
it's
use
the resin. Stalk. Yeah, it's the resin from the stalk.
Yeah,
right.
And
it makes the hemp cream. I mean, the hemp.
The largest boats, the ropes, and everything like that. Right now, that's why we were the largest importer of hemp. All before this whole hemp bill took place.
Yeah.
We used to import all the hemp, and we were the largest buyers of hemp. I think that's one of the reasons why the DEA came out on December 13th and 14th and tried to eliminate this type of importation just due to the fact, and that started really with the CBD side, not really the hemp product, but that became the foundation of them now wanting possibly in the future to tax it and be able to regulate it and use it for different types of things and creating jobs and help bringing farmers back and stuff. So there's a lot of things going on in the whole side of the field between the cannabis side, marijuana side, hemp side, the whole plant itself.
Yeah, here's an interesting weird hemp fact for you. Do you know that in Washington that CBD products, hemp products cannot be sold in a dispensary unless they contain THC? Over the amount, the 0.3%.
Where is this?
In Washington State.
we've applied in Washington State. We have a license in Washington State to be able to sell vapable CBD.
Right, but
because
you can't.
They pulled them off the shelf, and they said we cannot sell there unless we had pulled the license.
Yeah, so
you're telling me that the dispensaries cannot sell CBD?
Sell them unless they can contain THC. So that's why this gentleman was talking to me about products that he makes there and trying to get them imported over here because he can't sell them there.
Is that why the black truck's outside?
Yes. It's all my fault. That's why the phones don't work. That's why our guests. Okay, are we ready to try it one more time? Or
no, AJ left us on the cold.
He's
probably in his car.
What is going on?
We got no producer.
No producer.
We're done.
What are we going to do at the top of the hour for the news? Should I pretend to be the newsman?
I would.
Yeah.
It's a sunny day outside.
What are we, CBS?
No, definitely not CBS.
But as we progress, as we go past this last week of session, so again, everybody's tired. We've been fighting. What we're hoping for is the varied modalities, the 90-day rule being eliminated, which is promising right now. I just saw a message from Gary Stein, and we've been communicating throughout the week about the fact that chronic pain is going to be included, and that's huge.
That's huge.
But it has to be associated with one of the other
you're right.
Pre-existing conditions.
Yes,
but that could be.
But that is huge. Yes, exactly.
It's opening the door.
Exactly. At least it's written in writing. That was the key.
Yeah, that's key.
Because that's 90% of the people that want cannabis is for pain.
Exactly. Including myself and everybody else that I know. And between the edibles and adding that to, I would actually go out and get my, register at that point because I would want that.
Right.
The pain is huge because obviously we understand the pain epidemic that's going on and the opiates and stuff. So opening up that door for doctors to be allowed to facilitate that, eliminating the 90 days, not having to get them on a different type of prescriptions or narcotics, and allowing them to go straight to a dispensary. First, the patient base is going to blow up.
Yeah.
If these guys could keep up, which I think the only person that's keeping up right now is actually True Leaf. They've opened one in Miami. Actually, Karen Goldstein was there from Regulate Florida. There was quite a few other people there.
Did you go in there?
No.
Have you seen pictures of it? How does it look?
It looks actually the video looked really nice. They did a really good job with it. Actually, Karen got her pen from there, and they are the ones that are really pushing this dispensary things forward. And the biggest problem that I've seen when we were in Tallahassee and talking to a couple legislators that I won't mention is the fact that they're looking to do some type of smaller vertical. They will probably allow another 5 dispensaries, 3 to 5 in October.
Right.
They're trying to open this up because they're not actually opening up dispensaries. So they're having the nurseries and having everything else, but they're not opening up dispensaries, which means if you don't open up dispensaries, you're not going to be able to build a patient base.
Right.
So that's the biggest problem. So True Leaf is really taking the lead on this.
Right. They're leading the way.
They're definitely leading the way, and I know Dr. Michelle Weiner uses them, and I think they've been so far the ones that look the most dependable. I really haven't asked just because I think it needs to be everybody needs to be able to get involved, including caregivers and everything else. So we'll bring more information on that, but I think True Leaf is really the leaders right now that are setting the standards.
You know who else leads the way? Bill Monroe. Bill Monroe leads the way.
This again?
Yeah, I'm going to try it one more time. I swear, if it's not there, I am jumping off of that balcony and onto that black truck that's parked out in front. I am jumping. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Monroe. Bill, are you there?
Be there. Come on, Bill.
Come on, Bill. Hey, Jason. Come on, Bill.
I can't take it. I regret nothing.
Listen. You said you were going to jump off the balcony onto the car. You must come through.
All right.
And just get out.
I'm done. See ya.
I'm looking at the chat here. We want to shout out Representative Al Jaquette, who's on listening to our live feed and commenting. He shouted out Rosin, Minorities for Medical Marijuana, and he said the thing that makes the most sense. He's like 70% of the voters voted for it. Yep. So thank you for listening and doing all the investigation and being open, Representative Jaquette. You've been in favor of freedom and in favor of of doing the right thing by the patients the whole time, every time I've spoken to you.
Definitely,
and
shout
we're so
out to
glad
him.
to have you listening to our show today. Thank you.
That's very, very important. That just shows that they're paying attention. You know, they realize that it's a voting year. The voters did speak, and to have that many people, it wasn't just like by a little bit, it was by millions of people. You know, 2014, there was only 6 million people that voted, 5.8. This year, actually November 2016, over 10 million people voted. So another 4 million people came out to vote more than they did in 2014. That speaks volumes on what's going on, and that's a big thing. So they're paying attention, and I think that's why Session realized that if they're going to try to do this whole war on drugs and include cannabis on that,
silliness.
They're just done.
And I think a light switch flipped. I really like when I started going
funds, money.
That's a huge part of it, and that's the reason. Like, votes and money were really what we thought would drive the change in the mindset. But then, going to Tallahassee and talking to legislators like January, and the education we had to do at that point as far as why, it's not just about people faking glaucoma. It's not about people trying to get high. I think the legislators, they get it now. I think that there was a light switch that flipped, and they're like, oh my goodness, this is the huge issue because I'm constantly talking about it every single day. This isn't something that, day one we vote on and it goes away. Everybody's so passionate. They're, the chambers are so full up there. Every time they have a hearing, people have.
Well, they say we're too emotional.
I think every other conversation. I mean, we've been up there a lot since March 7th, and everywhere we walked in, and first I thank all the House representatives and senators that allowed us to have a conversation with them. It was big. I mean, they're very in tuned into what we were talking about.
Absolutely.
They really wanted to hear what we thought. They realized that we were in the industry heavy, and they just wanted to get our opinion. So now that's really starting to catch, it's starting to turn into that snowball effect where people are really, catching on, and the representatives and the senators are.
I saw a couple that weren't so nice and weren't so
they're not
giving. Towards maybe everybody's nicer to you because you're a celebrity. that might be the problem.
Leon, you're a celebrity.
We're here because of you, buddy.
Yeah, people. When I walk into a room, people get angry. When you walk into a room, people are like, "Oh, can I have your autograph?
I got gifts.
Oh, can I have your autograph?"
I got gifts. I got 5 lollipops I'm giving out today.
Oh yeah,
that's right. We got to talk about the lollipops.
We got to give away lollipops today.
And let's give the phone number so people can call in with calls.
We
got no phones.
We got to break for news. What are we going to do? Call into this phone number and
call on our cell phones and then we'll repeat the question.
Actually, hit us up on IM at C Life Radio.
There was a method.
We do have 2 people that have been chosen. I'll mention them a little bit later on the show, and we got 3 more to go.
Right.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll be right back on Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Yes. Welcome to Florida's only cannabis radio program. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio.
Hardcore, you cannot claim no victory till your heart pure and your mind. But them hardcore, when I say I alone can make them hard sure at this time. Hey, hardcore, you cannot claim no victory till your heart pure and your mind. But them hardcore, when I say I alone can make them hard sure at this time. So all I try for disturb a distance, we're keeping you away from the treasure that you're sniffing round to take. But you cannot penetrate. So even if you find the art, you cannot reach the gate. Leaving you waiting in vain, and love you all the same. But you're not hardcore, you cannot claim no victory till you're your mind, but them hardcore. When I alone can make them hard sure at this time. Hey, hardcore, you cannot claim no victory till your heart pure and your mind, but them hardcore. politics shown, breaking the addiction. Brothers finally find freedom to show love within the family. Real power generating, potential creating. Well, the epitome of masculinity is hardcore. You cannot claim no victory till your heart pure and your mind. Both them hardcore. When I say I say I alone can make them hard sure. At this time, hardcore. You cannot claim no victory till your heart pure and your mind. Both them hardcore. When I say I say I alone, I just say I say I alone. Just till I see I alone. I just till I see I alone. I just till I see I alone. See I alone. No, the Ayata can't compromise the link before she open up the Stargate. She really have to think. Is it just desire? What will it require? Do you have the strength to hold it if you let it reach the brink? Are you playing a game or do you know your role? Are you willing to wager your soul? Will you be a victim, beaten, stranded at the barrier, or bravely ascended to warrior, to goddess, to hardcore? As she acclaimed the victory cause her heart pure and her mind. Cannot claim no victory till your heart pure and your mind. Both them hardcore. When I say I say I alone, I just say I say I alone. Problems which confront us today are unprecedented. They have no counterpart in human experience. Men search the pages of history for solutions, for precedents. There are none. This then is the ultimate challenge. Where are we to look for our survival? For the answers to the questions which have never before been posed? We must look first to the Almighty, who raised man above the animals and endowed him with intelligence and reason. And we must look into ourselves, into the depths of our souls. We must become something we have never been, and for which our education and experience and environment have ill-prepared us. We must become bigger than we have been, more courageous, greater in spirit, larger in outlook. We must become members of a new race, overcoming petty prejudice, owing our ultimate allegiance not to nations, but to our fellow men within the human community.
Nobody covers cannabis news like Cannabis Life Radio. Nobody.
Nobody.
Serious.
Thank you for everyone. Serious. I hope you liked our during commercial break over the song discussions. So
what were we discussing? We didn't say anything during, did we? Did we say
love
anything
live
bad?
radio.
Did I say anything
Michael
bad?
Minardi. No, of course not. You're fine.
Probably just want to make sure.
No,
Probably
you're
did.
good. You were very, very good and respectful.
Check my emails. See if I've been
Either
fired.
that or the FCC.
Well, I think we might have a call on, or
I don't
Are we
know
going to try
if it's
again?
been successful yet.
Bill Monroe? Is it Bill Monroe? Bill Monroe, are you there? Yeah, there's no way.
No.
Yeah, there's no way.
No.
Come on,
We're
man.
good.
Come
We're
on,
good.
man. Everything's going to be fine.
Wait,
Do you need a hug?
Somebody do me.
AJ, do you need a hug?
Please,
Seriously.
I think
I'm going to get him a hug.
I think you need to go.
I got it.
He got it. He got it.
It's all right. You got this under
I
control.
need the phones to work.
He needs to have a hug because this is a very stressful situation.
Here,
So
this
we're
is
giving
the way.
out hugs here.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. That is awesome.
AJ, listen, we know you're trying your best, man. It's all good.
not you.
It happens. You know, that's why we're here and we're live and we're raw. So it's all good. We got plenty of topics to talk about. And while Leon's out giving hugs and stuff, didn't you say you're going to jump off the cliff?
No.
No,
that was fake news.
That was alternate facts.
Fake news.
It's fake news.
Alternate
Sad.
facts.
Hey, I just wanted to say something to Katie over there. When we first met, did I not tell you that I enjoy when bad things happen? That's what makes this radio show different than any other radio show on the planet, is because it's live. Things happen, and there are forces that are trying to keep us from getting the word out to everyone. So I think it's kind of cool. So,
he likes it.
Yeah, I love it.
He loves like stress and craziness and thumbs up, ready, happy, sad.
So what do we have coming up in the next few weeks? So we're gonna have session end, and then we're gonna look at the ball's gonna be tossed to the Department of Health to kind of look at what the specific rules are gonna be, what the application process is gonna be. I am still hopeful for the licenses for independent testing, but I've heard there's an approach that's being considered where they're not going to give a license to the independent testing centers. They're going to actually have a contract with the Department of Health, and the independent testers will work with the Department of Health to test the product. So it's not that they'll be giving licenses to touch plants. That's what I'm hearing, but I was like, I hope that's true, and it's not just a way to not give them licenses where we're going to end up in the same situation right now where they're testing their own product.
I mean, they need to be able to first third-party testing. I was reading an article today of a couple companies out there that are actually every time they test the product, they typically are coming out higher.
Higher in THC?
Higher in THC.
Okay.
And whether that's a cleaning process, because it's very, you got to be very good at what you're doing. And since it's not pharmaceutical companies that are testing these type of products, it's really like, people that have developed their own laboratories. Mm-hmm. Some of them are very good. Some of them are not so good. And they actually had an article on Leafly on a company out of Washington that was actually testing, and all the products that they would test, they were really coming out really high. But when you would send it to another company, where there was 2 or 3 other companies, those other companies were really coming out with the closest number to what the strain was by like almost 6%. Right. So that's big when it comes down to either THC, and that's kind of what we've been fighting now for, I would say, 3 years.
So what do you think? It's just sloppy testing, sloppy work?
I think it's a lot of money. I mean, when you're looking to get into that type of field, and when you're receiving a lot of samples every day of test products, and you don't have the facilities to capable of testing all these products, they don't go through the cleanliness, I think, enough and really take the proper care of the product. Now, do I think the Board of Health should be testing the product? No. Right. But I think people that know the industry should be testing the products, and there should be some type of application.
Absolutely.
There should be some type of history, back end on these type of products, and that's the most important thing, because people are getting in this industry just like Big Pharma. They want to go and make synthetic. I actually read an article, I think it was on Thursday or Friday, that said the synthetic THC, Big Pharma said this, is better than raw plant.
Oh, really?
Right,
yeah.
I saw that.
Makes
article.
sense.
You saw that?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes
absolutely
that.
It's brainwashing. It's propaganda. We've seen it since Reefer Madness.
Yep.
And going back to your question, as far as the testing and the THC levels coming out high, part of the reason why the Florida ones will come out high, I think, is because they're doing their extractions from bud. And this is something that Bill Monroe touched upon either on Facebook or on the show, is when we're using bud here for extractions, whereas on the West Coast, they use the trim for extractions. So
they use both. I mean, really, depending on the type of wax or the quality of wax that they're using. Mm-hmm. Some people use trim. There's a lot of higher end product that is used with bud.
Right, but that's the difference is the higher end. So as far as
so it should be higher quality is what you're saying.
Correct. But again, it's not even the bud that's the quality.
The extraction's still quality if they use trim, but that's the way they can bring the price down too.
Well, it's really down to, it's not even on the actual bud or the plant or the trim. It's really down to what the process is. It's like the CBD companies that are out there right now. Yeah, you can make CBD or make CBD products, but if you don't have the right process in place, it's never going to come out the right the same every time.
Right. It's no consistency.
No consistency. So again, that's really when it comes down to the extraction. Yes, bud is definitely way better than trim. But at the same time, if the person that's extracting it and really curing it and going through the process is not somebody who's really good, it don't matter what they use.
Yeah.
I think, again, they could make whatever, no matter what's bud or trim, and really doesn't matter.
But with bud, wouldn't you have a higher concentration of THC? I think that was the.
I think the whole product itself comes out way better. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the concentrate and the potency definitely comes out better. If they do it right, it's definitely the way to go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't consume, but yeah, it's what I've heard.
You don't consume?
No.
Yeah. When I went to Vegas, I got a chance to visit a testing lab as well as a extraction center, and it was very fascinating. The machines that they use, how sanitary the environment has to be. In Colorado, there it was a strong variation as far as what you have to do to get into a dispensary. So some places, as far as as a visitor to observe for business purposes.
Yeah.
So some places you would have to put your little footies on, but some places you just walk in with your street clothes.
Really?
And you could basically hug a plant.
Where was this in Las Vegas?
I love that.
Yeah.
We should make that into a shirt.
Hug a plant. Hug a plant today.
Hug a plant.
Yeah. So, but there was variation. So that's something we once we get past this legislative nonsense, we'll really have to look at just making sure, because you can bring mold in, you can bring mites in from anywhere.
Bugs.
So you want to make sure.
I have bugs in my hair all the time. I don't want to infect
all
anybody.
that hair you got.
That
right?
hair you got. Huh? Yeah.
So
they're crawling all over the place.
Yeah, we definitely want to. But that's the next step, and that's I'm very interested in that area of the business as far as post implementation. A lot of money is made in the lobbying and the the getting set up and upstart, but then it's like you got your license. How do you keep your license as far as the maintenance, and how do you differentiate yourself from all the other people doing the same exact thing that you do? And that's my primary interest in the business.
I mean, that's literally the key part of the business.
Yeah,
licensing, oversight, and then making sure that your end product comes out to the consumer, because people are actually consuming this type of product. So you want to make sure that the cleanliness, everything is there, the testing is there, the COA, making sure your THC is there, your CBD, what type of CBDs are actually in the plant. We had a lot of questions this week of people asking us, and again, we're not doctors, but being in this field and doing a little research, there's people were asking for pain. What type of CBD works in conjunction for pain with THC, and CBDN is a real good thing to look into when you're looking at a strain. How much CBDN does it have? How much CBD has across. Same thing for when you were talking about earlier, schizophrenia, or people wanting not to be paranoid when they consume. You don't want a high sativa strain when you're consuming.
No.
Straight jacket.
Yeah.
That's what we had to do you last time, remember?
Yes, exactly. So I was bouncing off the walls.
We had to do that to Leon. So you really want to look. You really want to look into a indica strain when you're looking for something that's more relaxing, less anxious, and or very high CBD. Which really that's the indica side of the plant. The sativa is the real high THC side, where I think the youth is really into that side of it more. For me, I like something that's almost like a 1-to-1, which is kind of more relaxing. It helps with the pain and stuff like that. But that's the best part about this business.
Yeah, the way to remember it is indica, couch.
In the couch, yes, in the refrigerator and everything else, and it's a good thing. I mean, this is the difference in the business, which you're starting to see all the different strains, all the different types of products that are coming out. That's again jobs. Yeah, people have certain talents. You have edible guys that are amazing chefs that are making amazing things with this type of plant and this herb. And all this new energy and ideas and creativity is just really flowing into this business. That it's great to see, when you see these people doing these things that 2-3 years ago you would have never seen, or the oil you would have spoken about, wax or shatter or anything like that, that's in these medical states. and you would go in there, you wouldn't have heard that. 8, 9, 10 years ago. That was not around. So there's so much evolution and so much creativity and education that's going on that we're really excited, and we hope
that's why we're here
to Florida as quick as it could be. To make sure that we change the cycle of what's going on with the opiates and the deaths that are going on and just all the issues that are going on in that big pharma side.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the strike all bill that the House came up with. That's what it's called. It's called the strike all because they came up with it. This is what I got from Bill Monroe. Okay,
right.
So you're filling in.
Don't accuse me of fake news.
Closer to it than I am, so I want to hear what you have to say.
Something about it wasn't Bill that said this. Okay. But it was somebody else had posted this, that in the bill, in the new strike all bill, that the doctors are now required not only to their classes now goes from 8 hours to 2 hours,
right?
Okay, but also they are technically held liable if one of their patients takes their medicine and sells it on the market. So
how does that make sense?
I don't. Well,
I didn't see that.
I didn't read that content, but I haven't read the latest version. So
that is in that bill that I read. I didn't read it, but the guy that was reading it on the air on Facebook Live was reading it word for word, and that's what it said.
So time out. So in other words, I'm a patient. I go see a doctor.
Yes.
I go to dispensary. I don't even go to the doctor. Doctor's not giving me anything.
No.
He's just giving me the right to go to the
recommendation.
The recommendation.
That's it.
I go to the dispensary. I turn around and I sell it to you.
Yep.
That doctor's liable.
Yes.
Makes no sense.
No.
Yeah, and
I don't see that. They're not. The doctors first went right then.
Yeah.
They would not see patients if that's going to be the case.
They would drop right out of the program. Of course not.
For other people's
their insurance
decisions.
wouldn't allow them to do it.
And what that does is it operates to restrict the patient count. So by putting
that's the reason they're doing it.
No, but listen, they're trying to open up the base on the patient count. As bad as Florida and all the legislation that's going on right now, they have a minimal amount of time. We're not talking 2015 where you still have a bunch of years in between where these guys could just sit there and not pass anything and just not worry about it. They are under duress and stress. When I've been up there, I've seen it. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to hide. They realize that if they do not push this forward, and we've had House representatives watching us on social media. They understand if they do not push this forward, the people will speak and they will lose their chair.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that's definitely not, that hasn't been etched in stone. No bill has been passed yet.
I haven't seen that, and we're pretty informed.
Michael Minardi just
commented. To fight me?
Always.
Did he say I was correct or no?
He said that's the biggest joke of an amendment, and he said a physician.
So it's real?
We have to ask, I'll see if he'll probably post something right now. A physician shall not be subject to criminal or civil liability or sanctions under Florida law solely for issuing physician certification with reasonable care. Reasonable care is, I guess, what it turns on to a person diagnosed with a debilitating medical condition in compliance with this section. So that language is comfortable because it kind of limits the liability on physicians, and then we won't see them where they're restricting the patient count by not recommending.
So that was fake news?
That is fake news.
That was fake news again?
That is Trump.
Well, time will tell.
Fake news. No bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno on the fake news, though.
But we definitely thank Michael Minardi.
I need him around. Can we have him? Can he call us through Facebook, and we can put the microphone right up?
No, he deserves better than that.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, so does Chloe. I just texted her, and from Cloverleaf University, we're really sorry for not being able to have you on today. We will bring them on next week.
Bill Monroe is coming into the studio next week.
Because they are very influential in this drive to push cannabis and legalization and recreation and medical across. Minardi's won a couple cases, more than probably just a couple.
Yeah, quite a few.
I
know 5. Correct?
He's won.
I'm sure more than
5. It's 5.
More than
the big
5.
Ones.
And he's dedicated now his time, and that man put so much miles on his car going back and forth, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, and he's really dedicated his time and his effort to make sure to defend people that are looking for this type of medicine and not go to jail for it.
Yeah, that's the silly part. That's why we all voted. That's why 71% of the Florida citizens approved this. We don't want people to go to jail for using this stuff.
Absolutely
correct?
not. Absolutely.
And we
That's
also
the
have a
problem.
comment on the topic from Laura Fuentes, who's our pharmacist.
Our commander-in-chief.
The commander-in-chief at
Am I in
Green
trouble
Road.
with her?
No, she said they're not responsible if they sell their OxyContin on the street.
Yeah.
So
That was my
this,
point.
That's a really good point. Why make that distinction for marijuana and not make it across the board for anything they prescribe or refer?
We're gonna liven this up a little bit. I know we got 5 lollipops to give out, right?
Can I have a
Am I
lollipop?
looking at it right? No, nothing for you. Oh God. So we have 5, right? We have 2 right now that we can name out.
CBD lollipops?
Right now, CBD lollipops. First, I want to thank Joe Estes.
Oh, yeah.
Joe's on loyal listeners. So
He is
this
a
week,
very, very loyal listener.
Joe Estes.
And he just said, focus the camera, please. So
Not on me.
Even not definitely not on Lee.
Joe Estes
Please.
is now part of the scene.
Joe Estes
Thanks,
has
Joe.
there's 4 more to go out. I got 1 more, and I apologize if I assassinate this name, but it's Cuthbert Hardwood.
All right, Cuthbert Hardwood.
Cuthbert Hardwood.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So we have 3 more to go before 6 o'clock, and we're gonna be counting on Mr. Will over there sitting. I don't know what are you standing on, by the way? A chair?
What's going on over there?
All right.
That looks safe, right next to the window.
We
5
have no
floors
insurance.
Up.
We got no phones and no insurance,
What's
buddy.
going on?
So we're good.
Nobody cares. You're fine. Don't worry.
So right now we've given out 2, so we will liven this up. Another thing I want to tell my guys is, and everybody out there, the wellness is really starting to take off. We appreciate everybody helping us and supporting us on that side, on Green Roads Wellness. Our guys are actually out in Michigan working with chiropractors. They were in New York last week. They were in Michigan this week, and they're again the following week they'll be out again. So shout out to all the guys and to everybody, including our commander-in-chief Laura.
Oh yeah.
That we keep grinding and moving forward, and we'll continue to educate and do what we need to do. We did as much as we could in this session, thanks to Minorities for Medical Marijuana, Roz McCarthy, obviously Cheryl Murray Powell, right next to me, and definitely Jeff Green, who's been out there really helping us push this forward, and we'll continue to dig in.
And me.
And Leon.
And Leon.
Thank you.
Leon.
Who lets me use Florida Home Grow as my other office when I have to meet clients.
Yes.
You got offices all over the state of Florida.
All over the state of Florida. That's how I like it.
You got good stops, girl. You got good stops.
Nobody says no.
No, absolutely. I'm persuasive.
You gotta love
or as Bob Riley, my publisher at High Life, he says I'm irresistible, so he always says yes to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of High Life, we'll talk a little bit about that. It seems like we're going on a break now.
We gotta pay the bills.
Yeah, we gotta pay the bills.
The bills. I don't worry about that. I let you guys.
That's a good life right there.
Yeah. She points at you.
She looks at me. She's like, all right.
That's all
your
him.
problem.
Yeah. You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Yes.
Excuse me, pretty lady. Nice to meet you. My name is Jamire. Ever since you moved right around my way, my eyes been blessed by your beauty, girl. And I just wanna know, do you have a man? Shawty, for you and I have plans. Here's my number, let me know if you're interested. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her and I want her too. But I too much so I'm too much watch it. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her, but me want her too. But I too much so I'm too much watch it. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. Aye. Whenever she walks by, everybody with inside. All my dupes, them want to get a piece of her pie. My friends, them broke them neck to see where she's walking. The crew wanna know, who is she talking to on a mobile phone? So I went into the market and bought a dozen Uzis. Walked up to her and said, baby, all this. Everybody eyes pop out. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her too. But I too much so I'm too much watch it. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her, but me want her too. But I too much so and too much watching. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. For that girl, I will do anything for that girl. She got me so weak to my knees. That girl, now I understand why they call her. I want me say, there's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her and I want everybody. But I too much so and too much watching. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. There's a girl in my neighborhood, and everybody wants her and I want her too. But I too much so and too much watching. And I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. Yeah. Excuse me, pretty lady. Nice to meet you, my name is Javier. Never since you moved right around my way. My eyes been blessed by your beauty. She's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her and I want her too. But I too much so and too much watching. And I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. Everybody's in my neighborhood. And everybody wants her, but me want her. I want her too. But I too much watching. And I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her and I want her too. But I too much so and too much watching. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her, but me want her too. But I too much so and too much watching. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. There's a girl in my neighborhood. They call her Sweetie.
Welcome to Florida's only cannabis radio program. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio.
Welcome.
We got two more winners.
Two more winners from lollipops?
Yes.
You got lollipop winners?
Yes.
All right, well, read them off. Tell me who they are, the lucky winners. The lucky winners. Go ahead.
We got Ria Gonzalez from Texas.
Ria Gonzalez from Texas.
Ria!
It's a long way away, Ria. Thank you for listening and watching.
Loyal listener. And then we have Donna Bianco.
Another loyal listener.
Where is she from?
Where's she from, Cheryl?
I think she's from Florida. Florida, but she wasn't always living here. I think she was out west, and now she's living here. So
good place to be.
Yes.
CBD lollipops, correct?
CBD lollipops. We have one left.
One left, and that's for me.
No.
Okay, so you're going to give them away, and the phone number that they call is actually working, correct?
Well, we're not even using the phone number.
Oh, they're just sending an IM?
You don't see what we got going on right here?
No, I'm very busy trying
to. We got everything going on.
I'm trying to reper the phone system. You see me working on this.
We left the phone systems like about an hour and 20 minutes ago. We left that alone.
Well, supposedly they're working right now. I believe it. There's somebody on the phone right now.
Wait. Let me just try this one time. Hello, Dr. McKenzie, are you there?
No.
Dr. McKenzie, are you there?
We're giving him an A for effort, though.
He is.
Please?
He's been
No, doctor.
Yeah. No, I told you,
Sorry,
man.
doctor.
I told you, man.
Sorry, doctor.
We
will have next week. We will have the lineup that we had this week.
Yes, we will.
We will have the doctor on.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just meant to happen that way.
Yeah.
You did bring in the black truck today. So we will have Chloe Villano from Cloverleaf University. We will have Michael Minardi.
We will have Bo Money.
We'll have Bo
from
Money.
Women Above Ground, doing great things in cannabis where it comes to inclusion and diversity. And she's a mentor to many women in the industry. So I'm super excited to talk to her.
Absolutely. We'll have Bill Monroe. He'll be in the studio, is that correct?
He's coming into the studio
so
next
he's
week.
Actually driving down this time.
He's tired of the phones. Yeah, he's tired of the phones, tired of the wild animals.
All right, so we have Bill Monroe, Bo Money, Michael Minardi, Chloe Villano from Cloverleaf, and then Dr. I don't want to assassinate this.
Yeah, don't say it. Just say a prominent doctor in the medical field.
Definitely a prominent doctor in the medical field.
No worries.
So
nobody's gonna say it.
I mean, so we'll have all that lined up,
Absolutely. Donna is a New Mexico transplant. Just to clarify, I've spoken to her on the phone, and she's great. I know she's. We've been praying for her as well, so for her to pull through. So enjoy that CBD lollipop, Donna. Rilla as well. She gave some information about the bill in Texas. She said it's going to be in hearing this week. So thank you for that update, Rilla.
It's in hearing?
There's
on
a hearing
the Senate side.
House Bill 2107 in Texas, apparently Tuesday.
Now, what's that bill on?
This is the medical marijuana bill to legalize, which includes autism, sickle cell, and all the other things.
One of the most liberal.
One of the most not liberal.
No, I was going to. You didn't let me finish my sentence. One of the most liberal.
How do you start a conversation talking about Texas that way?
Because
can you help me out here?
Maybe he's saying that's the progression. That's the most liberal out of Texas.
Yes,
that's just my guess.
That was going to be my
say. She just saved you.
No, that's what I was going to say. That was one of the most liberally written medical marijuana laws in the country.
Coming out of Texas, that's pretty impressive.
That was my point. That's why I said it
that
way.
I apologize. What do you want me to do?
You act like I'm an idiot.
Never said that. You said that.
Oh my goodness.
That's coming out.
Other people are laughing.
That is your tone. That is your tone.
That's not nice.
Yeah. So I was talking to my publisher with High Life magazine, Bob Riley, yesterday. We had a marathon meeting from 10 a.m. to like 4 or 5 o'clock, and we were just discussing our strategy and things. And one thing that we've been working on is market insights. So we're gathering information on the industry from about 50,000 participants. So we have data over the past 3 months. So if anyone's interested in taking part in focus groups and surveys about cannabis, Florida is great because that's where our participants are currently, but we're also trying to expand to other states so we can do some release information as far as market insights. Please inbox me, Cheryl Murray Powell, and then we'll engage you in the study. And we're going to release this information the next couple weeks as far as what we've learned about the cannabis industry in Florida to date from our 50,000 participants.
50,000?
50,000.
Did you say 50,000?
Yeah, 50,000 people who have voluntarily participated in the survey.
That is impressive.
And month over month, we've been
tracking
what's
the
those
feedback
results.
on that?
It's varied. We're going to do a whole release and announcement on the 19th of May. The 19th of May, there's the medical conference, and we're going to actually do our launch right there.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're super excited about it.
You work a lot.
We do. It's Team No Sleep over here, but we're constantly working on. I have to give Bob credit because it was his brainchild, and then once he put me on, I was like, no, this is what I used to do when I was at T-Mobile. A lot of that is leveraging marketing insights to determine future strategy and opportunities to improve. So we'd like to work with various cannapreneurs and dispensaries as far as coming up with their 2B strategy based on what the feedback is, the customer experience feedback is.
That's pretty cool.
The next step in our process, yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you got anything to put in there, Leon?
Oh, now you're asking me for my opinion. All of a sudden, when there's no equipment working, all of a sudden everybody's asking me my opinion.
Well, I mean, you are part of the show, ain't you?
I am part of the show, but I'm more or less the guidance. You know, I'm
you're guiding us?
Yes, I'm supposed to guide you.
No, AJ was guiding us.
Well, we see what happened with that.
Oh no!
AJ,
no, you didn't go in on my AJ.
He gave you a hug and everything. And now he throws you right under the bus.
No, we need him back next week, Leon.
He's fine. We're fine.
Abort mission.
Everything's fine. We're all good.
But that's impressive.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. That is an impressive thing to have those kind of numbers with something that people should be involved in with to begin with.
Right.
I wanted to ask you a question because people come up to me all the time and ask me, what are they supposed to do? What is your advice for people to get involved in now? Once the legislative session is over, what should people do if they want to get involved in starting a business, getting involved in trying to get in work for one of the dispensaries, one of the growers? What do you think they should do?
I think, first of all, that's why we wanted actually Chloe to come on, is because she has a university, an accredited university at that, where they teach bud tending and a bunch of other avenues to get in the business. Right now, I think that's a little bit too quick.
Right.
But being part of the process, the educational part.
Yeah.
There's a lot of education going on right now. Florida Cannabis Coalition is out there. Regulate Florida is out there. There's actually a conference coming now on June 9th, if I'm not mistaken, that there's going to be people from Arizona, Colorado. I think you're going to be there it's a Southwest.
Yes. Yes.
ECHO conference.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The SECC conference,
SECC
Southeast
conference.
Cannabis Conference. It's going to be huge.
So being part of that and just continuing to educate yourself on, because a lot of people don't want to touch plant. And if you want to touch plant, you got to have serious money behind you.
Right.
Or big lobbyist or whatever that side. But being part of the other side of the industry, you have packaging, you got labeling, you got designing, you have marketing possibilities. There's so many ways to get in this industry, setting up parties, setting up events. Which is a really big thing now to get in this business, and just continuing to be involved. Let people see you, and then talk to everybody, and then really be part of it. You have Cannabis Lab, which is they're out there. I think every Thursday of the
third Thursday of every month, Cannabis Lab has their professionals meeting and networking. A lot of great education
that would
comes out of that.
probably be the best way for somebody that would be the place.
That's the easiest way
people
to start,
right.
Because there's, again, the people like we're going to have on today and the people we've had on previous are people that have really laid the foundation in Florida. And in other states, they've grinded every day, or they've been part of the process, like Bill Monroe, really, putting his effort and his energy into, notifying people of what's going on in the state and things that are going on, including Karen Goldstein, Michael Minardi. These are the type of people that have laid the foundation for people in Florida.
Yeah.
And I commend them because we haven't been part of that as much as they have. We've been working and creating a business while they've been doing that.
Right.
So we're always there to help in any which way we can with them because they've laid the foundation. Normal and Regulate Florida, which people think it's Regulate Florida. We actually had Kerry Accardi had to respond to somebody that thinking that, that's the reason why we haven't had.
Right.
I'm like, have you realized, who these people are?
Regulate Florida is
you understand?
To treat cannabis like alcohol.
Right. But the
and that's why people need to do their petitions and volunteer. They have events all over. I got to call the people from the Best of the Best concert in for Memorial Day. I haven't done that yet, and see if we can get Regulate in there. We have Palm Beach Jerk Festival coming up.
What'd you call me?
Jerk.
Palm Beach Jive Turkey Conference. I'm just saying. Palm Beach Jerk Festival will be great. A great opportunity to get new petitions signed. So they're out there. They're working, and they have been for years.
Yeah, years. Absolutely.
And we want to definitely give them credit where credit's due. I'm excited about next week when we have the guest that we had planned on for today. Bo Money, she's out of California.
I love that name, Bo Money.
That is a cool
Bonita
name.
Money.
That is a cool name.
She could be a disc jockey with that name.
She's
maybe we should bring her
experienced.
in.
I would love.
We have a pink slip.
Oh, what? Are you trying to get rid of me again?
Those are fighting words. No, we need Leon.
Come on now.
But,
never.
Don't be mean to the old guy.
She's like seen. That's a very mature market, so I can't wait to hear what she says.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And when we share what's happening in Florida with her, I think she'll be like, okay, well, this is probably what's going to happen next, and things like that. So super excited. We have a great group of guests coming on next week.
And that's the advantage. And as you said, just as you ended that sentence, is people that understand that's what's going on in the business or have been in other states of what's gone on over there, and hopefully follows that same trend here to Florida.
Right.
However complicated it is, Colorado did start vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Today it's recreational.
Right.
So it's really just
it could happen very quickly. We don't know.
Listen, it was 8 to 9 states in 08-09.
Right.
Like literally, then we're like at 30.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really jumped tremendously in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think with a little bit more patience, there's going to be a lot of big things going on where it's going to be an actual it's real true $1 billion industry here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the second largest market in the United States. And people are going to be coming down here for many reasons.
Yeah.
That's why Vegas was against Nevada was against us having, cannabis. Colorado's not really, putting on their pom-poms and hoping for us to go fully.
They want to keep their own business.
They want to keep their business.
They want the tourists to come there.
Exactly. Right. So, but if spread out through, through the United States, everybody could be happy.
Yeah, everybody would have a place to go.
A real amazing business to be in.
Yeah.
And besides that, a lot of good things for medical.
Yes.
And they shouldn't block us, because if not us, then the Caribbean. I mean, you can't control the Caribbean anyway. So why not give Florida and the United States economy a chance by supporting?
Yep.
Well, they're holding back. They're holding it back a little bit. And if you pay attention to the people that were there, they say, well, the people in Colorado told us this. Okay, do you really think they want us to be really successful right now?
They might be giving you some bad advice.
Exactly. They could hold it back for a little bit. And again, there's amazing people in every state.
Right.
Every state, including Colorado and California, and, the people that really set the foundation for this to move forward and have brought us from 1996 all the way up till present day and really accelerated in the last 10 years. It's going to be an amazing, booming business, and I think it's going to have a lot of cures for a lot of diseases involved when the real research really starts, and they're allowed to really break down these CBDs and different cannabinoids and mixtures between THC and high-strain CBDs. That's going to really help out.
And Michael Minardi had a couple dates he wanted us to share. He said beginning in June in Tampa, we have the Canada Tampa, and also Green Carpet event in Naples on May 3rd. So there's a lot of buzz happening. We have, again, as we said, Cannabis Lab the third Thursday of every month here in South Florida. We're going to be launching our Broward Palm Beach chapter. We're planning a big launch event, so stay tuned. I'm the vice chair of the Broward Palm Beach chapter. So on the third Thursday, we'll have events both in Palm Beach or Broward, Palm Beach, and also in Miami simultaneously. As we mentioned, the SECC conference in Fort Lauderdale, that June 9th weekend, the May 19th through the 21st, there's a medical conference happening a little further north in Florida. I forget which city. I will have an update next week. So there's a lot of buzz and activity. And I know June we're planning on going to California for the Cannabis Lab launch in LA. Yep. And there's some other stuff going on. Like it's
nonstop. I mean,
I'll be here while you guys are doing that. Okay.
You handle it.
Yeah, I'll handle everything from here.
You'll hold it down?
Yeah, I mean, this whole week,
this whole month, we're all over the place. From Atlantic City to, there's a bunch of, I think, we should do, Will, can we just post, what events are coming up and for the next 45 days, do like a calendar, and we'll post it on our Facebook. Yeah. So follow us definitely.
And where we'll be, like if we'll actually be there. So things absolutely. We know about.
And whether you'll be doing the signing autographs and paparazzi available and those kind of availability.
Whether Leon will release a photo for us to use for him to sign autographs.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
I think, absolutely. I think we'll put everything out there. We'll make sure that people could see what's going on so they could actually get involved prior to the next session, which starts in September, October. Yeah. And then I think we got one more winner out of Tennessee. Yeah. Let me see who we have here. Memphis, Tennessee, and it's Richard and Kathy Schreck.
No, come on.
Oh, cool. Right? They've been on our feed. I get that right? So
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you did.
There you go.
Good job.
That's the last winner today for 5. Last lollipop for today. We will have next week again. We might even raise that to 10 next week.
Wow.
It's all on Leon's bill.
Yep, I'll pay for it.
So he's going to pay for an additional 5 for Florida Homegrown.
Not a problem.
Not a problem?
I got it.
You sure?
Yeah, but we do have to take a break here.
All right.
I want to pay the bills. You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Florida Homegrown. Cannabis is life. Cannabis is medicine. This is Cannabis Life Radio.
Hey, reaching out to all youth and youths. Stay away from gang war. If you really want to start a war, find a good reason. Instead of killing your brothers and sisters, fight for your freedom. There's a right and a wrong way to approach everything. So you better be careful, my virgin. You don't go the wrong way. Turn your life around. Don't shoot your brother down. Don't let your mother down. Brother, please don't take your guns to town. Turn your life around. Don't shoot your brother slow down, don't let your mama down. Brother, please don't take your guns to town. Remember taking an innocent life, leaves blood upon your shoulder. And tell me how would it feel, my dear, if it happened to your mother. Everyone's got to give an account for all that he has done. So you better be careful, my brethren, you don't go the wrong way. Turn your life around, don't shoot your brother down, don't let your papa down. Brother, please don't take your guns to town. Turn your life around, don't shoot your brother down, don't shoot your sister down. Brother, please don't take your guns to town. No war, no war. Show some love and care to all the brothers and sisters out there. Show some love and care, and no bother with no more warfare. Well, if you really want to start a war, find a good reason. Instead of killing your brothers and sisters, fight for your freedom. There's a right and a wrong way to approach everything. So you better be careful, my brethren, don't you go the wrong way. Turn your life around, don't shoot your brother down, don't let your mama down. Brother, please don't take your guns to town. Turn your life around, don't shoot your brother down, don't let your mama down.
Soldier, heard why.
Please don't take your guns to town.
This is Florida's most unique radio program. This is Cannabis Life Radio.
That is very true, by the way.
Yes, you look amazing.
Thank you. I'm very unique. I'm
Yes.
part of the most unique radio program in the world, Cannabis Life Radio.
Absolutely.
Leon Hamilton, along with Arby Barroso and Cheryl Murray Powell. The guy
Hello.
all of a sudden got very excited and whipped out that camera and started taking pictures of him. All of a sudden, where have you been for 2
we
hours?
love the hoodie style.
All of a
for
sudden,
sure.
I was like, oh, look at him.
Yeah.
He's been here the whole time.
Yep. Well, I got some good news.
All right, give it to me. Give it to me.
We have Jennifer that's been with us Jennifer O'Neill for about a year, a little over a year right now. Her son's name is EJ.
Right.
She just IM'd us and said, EJ has gone for, this is, you're talking about a child that was 4.5 years old. Chemo, radiation treatment was on, the foresight. That's what they were trying to do to him. And we were blessed to have him with us. And for a year. Now he's been going to school for a whole year, and since we can't really make claims, I won't get too deep into it. But Dr. Spader is somebody that, and Dr. Lynn Meister, gynecologist of Joe DiMaggio, has sent us a lot of families that we sponsor. He's gone. He went 21 days seizure free this month.
Wow!
So out of the 30 days. 21 days seizure free. You're talking about a little boy that was having 8 to 10 a day. Besides that, he's reading straight from what she said. Also, the hole on the tumor almost doubled in size from 8 millimeters to 14 millimeters.
Wow.
So that tumor is being broken up.
Yes.
Starved.
And again, we also have a letter from Dr. Spader to get him in the THC side, so we could hopefully finish destroying the tumor with
And
the THC
accelerate.
and accelerate this. But we were lucky and we're blessed, and for us, it's a miracle also for him to be able to not go through radiation or chemo treatment last year, and have him go to school all year round.
Yes.
He's an amazing inspiration to all of us. Every time he comes in to the warehouse or to the office, and a big inspiration. And really, when you look at him, and he's just an amazing kid to look at. And
that's what keeps you going in this stuff, in this business.
Every
I'm telling
day.
you.
Every day.
That's one story. It's an important story, but there are more families that are sponsored, and we're looking looking for more positive results as a result of, just a CBD regimen, combating the fact that he would have to have radiation. So that's huge. That's major. And thanks for your heart. Thanks for your big heart.
Thanks, Arby, for your big heart, Arby.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to you. It's definitely a big group effort. It's really how we've gotten to where we've gotten to, because it's between the people that we've surrounded ourselves with, including yourself, Cheryl.
Thank you, bless you.
And Roz, Leon, okay.
And
then
thanks, buddy.
We're talking about, even TFC marketing, the guys behind us, everybody at the warehouse, our sales guys, our leaders, what we call our lions, getting on the phone and spreading the information, to everybody and the stores that buy it, and then the reorders, and then just being able to afford to be able to sponsor the families is big for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is really what really drives us every day to continue to move forward, and you've seen it yourself. It's awesome.
It gives you goosebumps.
It does.
It literally gives me goosebumps every time I just met Jennifer in warehouse this week, and just following the story, and then when the videos come out, anyone who hasn't, please like Green Roads on Green Roads on Facebook, so you can see the videos and the
testimonials,
customer reviews and
comments from the
documentary.
It's unbelievable.
Split documentary series, but these are real life people that have been helped by this medicine. So we appreciate you. We appreciate Green Roads.
Yeah.
We're definitely pushing forward, absolutely. And that gives us the opportunity to actually go to Tallahassee, push for sessions, hire people to help us get, this moving forward.
Right.
So
that's part of the reason that we're doing this.
It's a big thing, man. It's a big movement.
Yeah.
It's a really big movement here in Florida, and we're going to continue to expand it.
You know what I heard? I heard that when we do get our phones working, I heard that you got some of your celebrity friends lined up for the show. That's
I don't know
what I heard.
You're talking about.
That's what I heard. Some of your celebrity friends. Yeah. You know the way he is.
Bring him in.
We've had, actually, Cheryl's been with us when we've had him in the warehouse.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Some of the celebrities?
We don't include you. We can't embarrass ourselves like that.
Oh, Leon, we definitely will have
we
you
love you
next
here.
time. Sometimes it's a surprise.
We love you here.
But as soon as they're out the building,
honestly, a lot of times it's a surprise. I just want to give you the date for that Florida Medical Conference. The location, May 19th and 21 to the 21st, Saddlebrook Resorts. Michael Minardi is speaking, so you do not want to miss that, especially if you're interested in the medical side. And then Joe Estes has indicated that August 26th to 27th, there's an International Canna Pro Expo. So please engage us in that. That's a new one for me, Joe. So hit me up and let us know how we can support that.
Yeah, that's big too, because that expo, that's a different side of the industry, different ways to get into the industry.
Awesome.
Opening up stores, whether it's smoke shops that cater to some people that might consume in the near future.
Yes.
There's just so many avenues in this business.
There really are.
There really is.
Well, you want to be at that conference and on the conferences we've mentioned. We're going to talk to Katie about stealing the 850 WFTL bus and taking it on the road.
I like that.
It's sitting in the parking lot.
Listen, it's all good. We can ride the bus.
We're going to ride out. We're about to ride out with the bus.
Yeah,
so
I'll be all over that.
We want to thank everybody for joining us today. Through all our technical difficulties, we'd like to thank AJ, definitely for keeping us in check.
Absolutely.
You've done good, brother.
Obviously, our TFC crew that's always with us. Thank you guys for continuing to follow us. Our definitely beautiful Cheryl Murray Powell, and then Mr. Leon Hamilton.
Yes.
Right. Thank you,
everyone.
Guys.
You
really appreciate it.
Next
Cannabis
week.
Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Peace.